Wood Wide Web is this underground global network of roots, fungi, and bacteria that connects all trees, which scientists have discovered. And it's kind of fascinating how it allows trees to actually communicate with each other. So I think it's been really a very powerful metaphor that the convening has brought to life through its design.
一開始嘅時候咧，就有一個3分鐘嘅 shaper introduction 啦，去俾大家咧認識大家。我估唔單止係大家嘅一啲 professional 嘅 background， 更加就係點解大家會想喺即係教育呢個行業咁 commit 咧，或者係點解個初心會想喺教育呢度發展咧？
成個計劃咧，我覺得個傳承好緊要嚇，即係特別係對嗰個喺教育上面一啲嘅領袖培訓啦，或者係一啲教育理念咧，點樣傳承落去咧？呢個係好吸引到我嘅，所以咧我最撚尾我都係參加咗。
咁 Shaper 就係令到我哋有一個使命，我哋唔單止裝備自己有個 personal growth， 咁我哋仲希望喺 ecosystem 裏邊，我哋能夠係帶咗一啲嘢去幫到我哋呢個 community。
無字天書嗰個遊戲咧，我好記得嘅，好好玩嘅。嗰日咧，我記得就導師將我哋分組啦。分咗組之後咧，就話俾我哋聽，每一組咧就有一張紙俾咗你。咁咧一陣間你哋要喺個遊戲當中咧，就去生一個火。
成班分咗組之後咧，每一個組員其實都係啱啱識嘅啫嘛。咁但係好快咧，我哋就可以即係大家聚埋一齊咧，係做到一啲好重要嘅 decision。
咁我當時就見到其他組咧，其實佢哋有好好嘅生火工具同埋材料，但係好似仲未成功啊。咁但係我哋嗰組係唔知點解咧，率先就已經生咗個火啦，完成咗啦。其實個遊戲嘅目的就係大家要先生到個火，先至彈到張紙噶嘛。咁既然我哋生到個火啦，不如我哋借俾佢哋啊，咁得唔得啊？咁樣咯。
其實我又有啲驚訝嘅，因為我哋第一個 Harvard 嘅 case 咧，其實係一個商界嘅 case 嚟嘅。咁但係就即係用喺一個即係教育界嘅一個培訓入邊咧，咁其實係真係第一次去嘗試嘅咁。咁所以對我嚟講，其實都係又係一個新嘅體驗啦。
Case methods, it's not propositional knowledge. We're not trying to tell you what the right answer is. Think about these as a very short story. And what can we learn from this story that has some application for us?
對於即係嚟緊去Boston 嘅呢一個旅程，其實都多咗期待嘅，因為知道都會即係有好多更加多唔同 sector 啦，或者更加多唔同嘅甚至唔同地域啦，更加唔同嘅即係範疇嘅一啲 cases 嘅時候，自己都有好大嘅期待，就係喺呢啲 cases 裏邊，我可以有啲乜嘢嘅得益。
For me, one of the fundamental dilemmas of educational leadership is that people like you are in positions of formal authority, obviously. You know, what does it mean to think more systemically? What does it mean to kind of anchor in our sense of vision and purpose? What does it mean to do all these things in the context of the really, really demanding, turbulent, highly uncertain world we live in, adults and kids together?
And so when we look at, the unique ecosystem of Hong Kong and your education systems, is really how do you reflect on who are you in community and partnership with around you?
I need to rethink the way that I'm wired and the way that I'm responding. And in that kind of sense, you're able to then design a new way of thinking, a new way of reacting to these events that are happening at this sort of surface level, to then kind of avoid mistakes or really understand why things are happening and to be able to change them for the future.
今日我哋嘅領導咧，其實佢哋要面對咧係好多方面嘅唔同嘅挑戰唔同嘅問題。佢哋有一個好大嘅挑戰咧，就係要能夠咧係及早去識別佢哋身邊嘅問題，同埋揾到一啲有效嘅策略去解決問題。而 POP 咧，可以話一個咧係非常之好嘅一個領導嘅一個工具。透過 POP 佢哋要去界定問題啦，佢哋要去擬定問題一啲嘅解決方案。
I think the workshop shifted my mindset from a personal and school development to a modern education community. So Dr. Ho's section expanded my horizon, inspired me to extend my thinking from self-leadership and organizational leadership to system leadership. It laid a very solid foundation for me, I think, for the coming convening and the Boston trip, I think.